In a place where winter lasts longer than memory itself, where the land is buried in snow and the sky scarcely changes its hue, silence reigns. Yet within this stillness, a life stirs. A reindeer cow lifts her head, not because of a sound, but because of a silent signal rising from deep within her veins, a primordial call that only she can hear. Without a summons, she begins to walk, and then, like a rising flood, an entire massive herd of reindeer emerges from the frozen land. Hundreds, then thousands of lives. Today, only about 1.88 million wild reindeer remain, a dramatic decline from the 5 million of 3 decades ago. And now, almost all of those that are left are moving, like a river of life returning to its source. This journey is not an adventure, but a struggle for survival. Their destination is a distant promised land, where fresh grass will sprout when the snow melts. A safe place, rich enough in nourishment for the next generation of reindeer to be born. Every step they take is a step toward the future of their entire species. They have no map, no guide to lead the way. Their only compass is biological memory, an invisible map carved deep into their very bones through thousands of years of evolution. This path was once traveled by their ancestors, and now instinct urges them to walk that same legendary road once more. The body of the reindeer is a masterpiece of nature, designed for an endless journey. Its wide and flexible hooves spread out like natural snowshoes. Their fur is not only warm, but also hollow inside, providing insulation and turning them into life rafts when crossing rivers. Their resilient heart and lungs allow them to endure steep hills and the freezing air. After many days of crossing the empty tundra, the herd of reindeer enters a sparse forest. Ancient pines rise to provide shelter, their thick canopies holding back the wind. This is a temporary resting place, a brief refuge where the calves can rest, and the entire herd can regain their strength. Here, there are no lush green meadows. Their only source of life in this forest is the dry lichens clinging to the tree trunks and the ground. This tough and scarce food is their precious source of energy, helping them sustain their strength for the long journey ahead. Suddenly, the entire herd halts. On the other side of a stream, a herd of North American moose appears. They are massive and majestic, their enormous antlers resembling living branches. A rare encounter between two giant creatures of the north. But then the wind shifts, carrying with it a different scent. Not the smell of pine or damp earth, but the scent of lurking danger. The smell of wet fur. The smell of the gray wolf pack. From within the shadows, they gradually emerge, moving so lightly that they make almost no sound, their eyes gleaming like shards of ice. The wolves do not attack in chaos. They have already chosen their target, an old moose, perhaps slower than the others and falling behind the herd. It is the harsh law of nature. The weakest will become the prey. The attack unfolds in just a few seconds. The wolves coordinate as a single unit, charging in from multiple directions, using their collective strength to pull, pin down, and topple the giant. One fall, and the forest is torn apart by the final breath of the doomed moose. From a distance, the herd of reindeer watches in silence. Not a sound is made, yet tension fills the air. This time, they are not the victims, but the lesson of life's fragility is etched deep within them. They know that the same danger could strike them at any moment. Leaving the forest, a new challenge appears before them: a vast, silent, and icy river, its surface still holding the last floating blocks of winter ice. The river is the natural boundary between the seasons, and they are forced to cross it. Without hesitation, the leading reindeer steps firmly into the icy water. The others immediately follow in its tracks. Soon, the entire herd becomes a living ribbon flowing across the river, a majestic spectacle of willpower and unity. In the middle of the river, a fragile calf begins to struggle. Its small legs kick desperately in the freezing water. Its strength drains quickly, and it starts to be swept away by the current, drifting apart from the herd's formation. The swirling water gently carries it away. Just a few meters, yet for such a small creature, it is an insurmountable distance. It does not cry out, only struggles with all its strength to swim back to its mother, but the river is far too strong. Reaching the opposite shore, the mother instinctively turns back to search for her calf. She gazes at the empty water, her ears still catching the sound of the river's waves behind her. There is no farewell, only the cruel silence of nature, where survival is never guaranteed for all. The herd must continue moving forward. Life waits for no one. On this great journey, a single misstep, a brief moment of delay, can mean the end. That is the price of survival. After so many days of hardship, at last they arrive. Before their eyes stretches a lush green valley, unfolding like a dream without end. No more snow, no more icy stones, only vast meadows beneath the warm sunlight of early summer. The herd of reindeer spreads out peacefully. They lower their heads, savoring the first blades of fresh grass, sweet and full of moisture. This is the reward for their arduous journey, the source of life that restores their strength and nourishes the generations to come. The calves, who until now have only known their mother's milk, begin to taste the first green blades of grass in their lives. The mothers, thin after the long journey, can finally rest and regain their strength in the peace of the grasslands. The journey of the reindeer does not end at a single destination, but in every moment along the way. After thousands of kilometers, they have arrived. Calves are born, and the mothers find rest. In this harsh world, sometimes merely surviving one more day is already a great victory. But will this path still be covered in snow next year? Will the river remain frozen enough to test their strength? And most importantly, will the modern world still have room for this ancient migration? Their survival depends not only on instinct, but also on our choices, so that the timeless rhythm of the North may continue to echo across the ages.